Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. Those who are on Zoom, some of whom were here for the previous hour, and some of whom are joining now for our Erev Shabbat service. So welcome to everyone. I'm going to share our prayer book to the screen. And we are going to begin. If you have your own prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah, we are beginning on page 126 in the brackets, or it's on the screen. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We turn now to the blessing over the Shabbat candles, and I'd like to invite Judith Weiss to light her lights and do the blessing for us.
Okay, they are lit. I don't know if anyone can see them. They're very tiny and you can't see them on my table. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you can't see them on the table, but they are lit. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahad l'knei shel Shabbat.
Amen. And would you do the reading as well?
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen. Thank you, Judith. We turn now to the Kiddush. Is there anyone who has some wine or grape juice and would like to read the Kiddush for us in English? Susan Sisler, would you be interested?
Sure, I don't have any wine with me, but yes.
Okay, you can share mine.
Okay, terrific. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot, in love and favor. You made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. At first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the people. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Susan. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'achata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim V'Shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. We turn now to the mystical poem that invites us to turn to one another and say, beloved, come with me to greet the Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki va'orechu mi ori, uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am sigula, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. We turn to the Baruch Hu. I invite you, if you choose, to rise and face to the east. The east is the direction that we pray. And so even if we're not in the same physical space, we can imagine ourselves all praying together, facing the same direction. If you have a prayer book, it's page 146. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Let's be seated. Please join me and let's read together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu, uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uvmitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, Mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. We join together in the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet. Please read with me. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and savior who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha netar b'kodesh norati lo rosefele Noratehi lo rosefele, malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze eli anu ve'amru, ze eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratehi lo rosefele, noratehi lo rosefele. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugealo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Gaal Yisrael. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית olam. We turn to the tefillah, which, if you have a prayer book, begins on page 164 in the brackets. I invite you, if you choose, to rise and again face to the east, and we'll all pray in the same direction. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ava. Melech Hozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Givurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Let's be seated. Please read with me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Modim, we are grateful. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We continue with our prayer for peace, peace which means so many things. It means peace in our world, peace in our hearts. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And now we continue quietly with our own prayers, the prayers of our hearts. If you have a prayer book, there are words on pages 180 and 181 in the brackets. There are words on the screen in front of you, but we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. Imre fi ve'egyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri ve'goali May the words of our mouths and the meditations in our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill, and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, and of spirit. Our Misha Barach is on the screen, and if you have a prayer book, it's on page 371 in the brackets. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Robert Serpico, Evelyn Urbano, Jesse Sakharov, Ronnie Turek, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Alan Fremer, Emma Rose Tuttleman Kriegler, Susan Bilecki, Nathan Aaron Robbins, Andrew Mazzella, Jeffrey Levinson, Harry Baylor, Shirley Amrani, Alice Hyatt, Ellen Rothstein, and Rebecca Rothstein. And these are names that I received from you. Linda Horowitz includes Sandy Alphont. Adrian Knoll includes Mike Armstrong and Angela Marie Tassillo. Pam Glansman includes Andy Glansman and Deanna and Ira Roth. Charlotte Russell includes Barry Strumpf, Tracy Strumpf, and Selma Carl. Diane Keston includes Olive Wolfman, Al Panico, Lila Fox, Rose Jacobs, and Cindy Panico. Diane Figueroa includes Frumi Gartenhouse. Susan Sisler includes Dolores Weinberger, Ingrid Grosso, Roberta Gotthelf, Audrey Cohen, and Fran Sisler. Stan Hollander includes John Carfisi, Francis O'Haran, Orlando Aiello, and John DeMaio. Freema Schneier includes Elaine Gordet, Ellie Heinrich, Phyllis O'Neill, Sherry Rolnick, and Marcy Babayatsky. Jane and Harold Gleiberman include Suzanne Leknos and Florence Schoen. Ruth and John Belay include Liz Yasuda, Park Shing Lam, Richard Zagame, Mark Steiner, Paul Steiner, Patty and Erwin Cohen, and Monica Beyer. And Ellen Rothstein includes Bambi Polk and Helen Polk. We also include Linda Kushner Silverman. I'd like to invite you now, if you have any names to add, you can add them in the chat or unmute yourself and add them verbally. So I believe it's Karen Kramer includes Marion McGivney. Karen, anybody else?
Yes, I want to include Warren Leviton, my kid's dad, who had surgery yesterday and is now in rehab at this time, which is a very scary thing to think of him in a rehab. He had to have a plate in his thigh totally replaced. It had snapped, and they had no choice but to operate on him now. So we are worried about him.
Michael Moore.
Thank you, Eric. Judith?
Stacy David, Lauren Julia, and Wilma Mauser, Irene Nashinoff, and Hannah Paynes.
Thank you, Judith. Linda Kushner Silverman includes David Gershon and Shelley Samet. Who else?
Jan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Our friend Galen Ross was in COVID hell for 3 weeks, but now she's doing much better, and we're very relieved and grateful.
Thank you, Jan. Anyone else?
Me,
Okay, go ahead, Mona.
Freya Cashman, Delphine Wolf, and those are the two most. Marlene Unterberger.
Thank you, Mona. Emma Rose Tuttleman Kriegler includes Sophie Tuttleman, Roxanne Kinnelly, Emily Calloway, and Michelle Lavar. Robin Bass adds her neighbor, Donna Trainer. If you are watching on YouTube, I invite you to add any other names at this time. We also include all of those who are currently suffering from COVID-19 or from the measures that we've taken to mitigate the spread of the virus. We include those who have been wounded in service to our country or Israel, and those who have been hurt in other disasters, both natural and human created. We join together in the Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Helene, did you have names to add that you didn't have a chance?
Yes,
I am sorry. Would you please add them now?
yes, Barbara Maggot, Jane Berman, Harry Boa, and Louise Dankberg.
Thank you. And I apologize that I didn't see you beforehand. May they all have a refuah shlema, a full and complete healing. Shabbat Shalom. Tonight, assuming that I don't forget and I have to be reminded, we will count the 23rd day of the Omer on the way from Passover to Shavuot. Each year, I do try to count the Omer every day, although I do sometimes forget. Today, in another kind of counting, is the 50th day since we had our first virtual service on Friday night, March 13th, and it is May 1st, the beginning of a new month. I have not been counting the days that we have been living in this new world of masks and physical distance from each other. I only just counted them up on the calendar today. I like counting the days of the Omer, both because it's our tradition to do so and because we're counting up to something. The festival of Shavuot, the celebration of the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai. It's a joyful occasion. It's something to look forward to. I think I haven't been counting the days of our quarantine because we don't know when this is going to end. Counting the days keeps a record, sure, but it's not counting up to something. For some people, it's meaningful, and I see people posting on Facebook sometimes, this is day 48, this is day 50, but that's just not my way. It's not so important to me. One might think that we're settling into these new conditions, and perhaps some people are. We heard a little bit of that in our discussion before the service, but many are not settling into it. I've heard it said recently that we are all in the same storm, but we are not all in the same boat. And I find this to be both concise and very accurate. For doctors and nurses and all hospital workers, the pressure and trauma is increasing as they try to save people and watch them die day in and day out, while also trying to help family members who are desperate because they cannot be with their loved ones in the hospital. Others who are considered essential, delivery people, grocery store workers, Amazon warehouse employees, tend to be low paid and have few benefits. They have to keep working, but their kids' schools are closed. How are they supposed to care for their children? I don't think they're settling in. And while they have finally been recognized as essential when they were essential to our lives even long before this, they're not receiving better pay or better treatment. They're not getting appropriate personal protective equipment or pay and benefits that we might think that essential workers would deserve. Then there are those who have lost their jobs, for whom every day at home eats into their savings, if they are fortunate enough to have savings. And they may be feeling increased stress each day about their financial future, wondering if they will be able to come back from this. And even those who have the privilege of being able to stay home without financial worry continue to suffer from the fear of going out, from the isolation, from the loss of normalcy. It's hard to settle in when there is so much uncertainty about how long this is going to last and what its impacts will be overall. This is the kind of time that prompts some of us to ask, where is God in this? Why is God allowing this? Why is God doing this? It's very hard to understand how a God who cares about us doesn't stop a global pandemic that is killing so many people and causing so much disruption. And this is, I think, the big question. If we buy into a religious system that has a God, we are immediately faced with the question of how that God operates in the world. And the most poignant, wrenching, important question is, why does a God who created us and loves us and chooses us allow pain and illness and evil? There are many different answers to this question, and ultimately no answer. One of the tenets of belief in God, at least for me, is that God is bigger than we are and far beyond our understanding. So we can come up with as many answers as we want to the question of what God does and doesn't do and why, and those answers will, at best, capture just a tiny bit of the enormity of God. And given that, when we ask this question, why God, out of our pain and our fear and our despair, we should beware of answers that are too simple. This week's Torah portion is Acharei Mot Kedoshim. It's a double portion. And in it, we begin the section of the Torah referred to as the Holiness Code. But before that, we read a description of the rituals of Yom Kippur. And one of those is this strange ritual in which they choose a goat. They symbolically transfer all of the sins of the Israelite people onto the goat. And then the goat is sent off into the wilderness. Now, most likely the goat was thrown off a cliff. This goat is not coming back. And the goat comes to be referred to as the scapegoat. And this is the origin of our concept of the scapegoat, meaning a person or group of people who are blamed for some problem on behalf of everyone, even if it's not that person or people's fault, or not only their fault. You can't get rid of wrong things you've done by putting them on a goat. You cannot. You can't solve problems in a society by blaming them on a few people. You cannot. Not only is it oversimplified, it leads quickly to injustice and further evil. And this is something that Jewish people know very, very well, far more well than we would like to. Blaming each other, even invoking God as if we understand God's intent, is not helpful. Even blaming ourselves, believing that God is punishing us, again, as if we can understand what God is doing, is possibly not helpful. Here is another way of thinking about what God is up to, written about 1,000 years ago by our great Rabbi Maimonides, who, by the way, in his own lifetime, was expelled from his home in Spain and had to leave and start over again, first in Portugal and then in Egypt. And this is from his Guide for the Perplexed. One should not believe that all the beings exist for the sake of the existence of humanity. On the contrary, all the other beings too have been intended for their own sakes and not for the sake of human beings. In respect to every being, God intended that being itself. And whenever the existence of something was impossible unless it was preceded by some other thing, he first brought that other thing into existence. For with reference to none of the things created is the statement made in any way that it exists for the sake of some other things. God only says that God brought every part of the world into existence and that it conformed to its purpose. And this is the meaning of the saying, and God saw that it was good. So God's purpose with this virus, if God has one, may have nothing to do with us. Is that more comforting than the idea of a punishing God, or less? I don't know. It depends on the person. But it might keep us from condemning others in the name of God, as if we understand God. When these questions of what God is doing and what it all means and why is God doing it, I always find myself turning to Job. The book of Job is, for me, the antidote to the idea of the God who allows or does things that hurt people as a punishment for something. Job, as terrible thing after terrible thing happens to him, stands strong and refuses to accept that God is punishing him. He has no other answer, though, so he cries out and demands that God explain. The answer he finally gets is, I think, unsatisfying, but it's the only answer we get. God appears to him in a whirlwind and lets him know at length that he as a human has no understanding of why God does what God does, and how dare he think he has the right or the capacity to understand everything. And Job responds by saying that he now understands that God is beyond his understanding. But there's a little bit more to the book of Job. God goes on to say that God is angry with Job's friends, saying, "You have not spoken the truth about me, as has my servant Job." And this is fascinating because the friends were the ones who kept insisting to Job that God was punishing him for something that he had done wrong. They thought they knew the answer, and God has no patience in this story for humans who think they understand. Instead, God says that Job spoke the truth. Job insisted he was not being punished, and he wanted to know the reason for what was happening, and he knew he didn't know. And that was speaking the truth about God. Anytime we try to understand God and why things happen, we're making up a story. And this is because, first of all, God isn't telling us in any kind of clear way. And second, God's ways are beyond our understanding. Just this week, I was saying to a friend that if you're going to speculate about something that you don't have an answer for, if your only option to answer the question of why something happened or why somebody did something is to make up a story, and you have no idea one way or the other what is true, then you might as well make up a story that's helpful and comforting. Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook said, "The whole Torah's objective is to remove the roadblocks so that universal love will spread and extend to all realms of life." Using this as a guide, Here is my story about why this is happening, at least for today. In the Torah, we read about God as the creator of everything. We work to live good lives and make the world a better place in honor of God and in gratitude for our existence. We were created with free will, and we don't always use it well. When others use their free will to do terrible things, we sometimes have the opportunity to do good in response. Sometimes things happen in the world God created, natural disasters, pandemics. We don't know why these things happen, but they are times when we are challenged even more than usual to cling to the principles of loving each other as ourselves. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself, which we also read in this week's Torah portion. And the principle of making the world a better place. I believe that God is grieving with us, feeling our struggles. Instead of thinking about punishment and blame, instead of asking why God allows this, perhaps we could ask, how does God want me to respond to this? How can we turn our Torah, our tradition, how can we turn to it and follow its teachings to remove the roadblocks so that universal love will spread and extend to all realms of life, as Rav Kook puts it? I don't claim that this is the right answer. I don't claim to understand God. But this answer is as likely to capture a little piece of the truth as many other answers. And it's an answer, a story that I can live with, that I find helpful. And so I encourage you too to look for an answer that brings comfort and hope to you. And meanwhile, the love in our community is palpable, even though we are physically far apart. I am so grateful for all of you. So let us continue to hold each other up and have compassion for one another and for ourselves. Chazak ve'ematz. May we be strong and resolute. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. Before we continue to the Aleinu, I have not forgotten that we should count the Omer. So here we are at day 23. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of all space and time, who made us holy through commandments and commanded us to count the Omer. Hayom shlosha ve'esrim yom shehem shlosha shavuot u'shnei yamim ba'omer. Today is 23 days, which is 3 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Robin Bass is asking if it would be possible to share some good news with each other. Sure. Robin, I imagine you have something to share.
How do you always guess that? You're just so brilliant. I love it.
I know.
Yes, I actually do. Some of you may have seen my grandson, who's sitting right here next to me, just turned 3 a few days ago. And we didn't get to have a party, but the local fire department came by and blew their whistles and their sirens and made it very festive for us. So it was a good day.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Does anybody else want to share good news? Okay. Well, happy birthday to Robin's grandson. We'll do a Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Emma Rose Tuttleman Kriegler suggests that we do that every week. We often do that at the time of the Modim. Many of you were here for the discussion before the service today, at which I invited everybody to share something good that happened in the past week, which is maybe why I didn't on my own open it up during the service, but it's all good. And wherever we can find good news in these times, we are glad to find it. So we are now going to turn to the Aleinu. It begins, if you have a prayer book, on page 586 at the top of the page. I once again invite everyone to rise and face to the east. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Let's be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. The Mourners Kiddush is on page 598 in brackets if you have a prayer book, and we remember those who have died in the past year. Ben Schaefer, Chaim Braunzweig, Walter Weinstein, Mark Adam Needleman, Greta Belizaire, Barbara Rosenbiger, Dr. David Allen Wolin, Nick Alexander, David Sutherland, Rabbi Kenneth Roseman, Shirley Hyatt Tobias, Myron Klein, Ted Tobias, Sandy Gannon Abel, David Ribbler, Bess Newman, Buzz Lorch, Benjamin Binyamin Elwood, Edward Albino, Joseph Davis, Jerry Charon, Gary Zeitlin, Sean Devlin, David Levy, Lenny Drucker, Beverly Tredinnick, Evelyn Pincus, Rita Spiro, Beatrice B.J. Jacobs, Melvin Jorgrau, Gloria Katzen, Lorraine Elner, Amanda Corwin, Mel Paul, Nigel Grant, Benjamin Resnick, Robin Silverman, Jeanette Zarrow, Claire Strauss, Roberta Kessman, Joshua Steiner, Andrew M. Cohen, Neda Albray, Roz Kirschenbaum, and Robert Pincus. The names that you sent me include Rita Belay and Jay Jankelowicz, Arthur Roski, Nicholas Pena, Desiree Bailey and Sonia Jones, home health aides who worked for JASA for many years, Julius Schenker, Sally Wadman, Abby Sheck, Sam Wolfman, Stu Wolfman, Stephen Cross, David Schifrin, Patricia Shears. On our yard site list today are Lillian Schwartz's father, Morris Deutsch, Rob Friedman's mother, Ann Friedman, Roz Baylor's mother and Harry's aunt, Pauline Gallison, Stephen Glasser's father, Nathan Glasser, Mona Goldberg's father-in-law, Samuel Goldberg, Hazel Tishkoff's father, Nathan Grossman, Karen Wilco's grandfather, Leonard Homer, and her uncle, Arthur Levy, Myron Jacobson's brother, Lee Jacobson, Jeff Levinson's grandmother, Sylvia Levinson, Maddie Kay's uncle, Gerard Moldovan, Mildred Morell's father-in-law, Jack Morell, Jackie Udelewitz's loved one, Olga Reese, and one of the past rabbis of Temple Beth Emeth, Rabbi Theodore N. Lewis. If you have other names to add, please type them into the chat. Or if you would like to add them aloud, you may do so as well. Doreen adds Jason Dworkin. Anybody else? Jan, Rich?
I would like to add Dr. James Mahoney, who is a critical care doctor and pulmonologist at Downstate for many, many years, who passed away from the virus just this last Saturday.
Thank you. Anyone else have a name to add?
No.
Judith?
No, not a name to add, but on the yurt site list, you said Rabbi Lewis. And before he, I guess, was at Beth Emeth, he was at Progressive Temple, where I went when I grew up, and he officiated, and I studied with him for my bat mitzvah. And he and his wife and family were really lovely, and I have very fond memories of him.
Thank you. You know, I may have been wrong in saying Temple Beth Emeth. It may be that he was a rabbi at Progressive, and then Progressive, you know, merged,
right.
Temple Beth Emeth. So
It's a long time ago.
I see another name in the chat, Leatrice Langer. Any other names? And if you're watching on YouTube, please add aloud, if you choose, any names of anyone for whom you are saying the Mourners Kaddish this evening. Okay. We also include all of those who have died of COVID-19 around the world, and those who have died by other causes, whether war or famine or terror or disaster or alone and homeless on our city's streets. I invite you to participate in the Kaddish according to your own tradition. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit alev, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha b'richu. Le'ela amin kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, dam yaran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all of the bereaved here among us and wherever they may be. And let us say, amen. Please be seated if you have risen. So Announcements. Eric, would you like to give some announcements?
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
All I wanted to say was that, well, I hope you continue to come to services. We have services again tomorrow, celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut. So please come and attend. Also, as I don't know if everybody knows, but we are postponing our annual journal luncheon. And however, we're planning something to replace it that will be virtual. So look out for all the notices about it. We need to find other ways to bring in some income into the temple, because we have not had any of our typical fundraisers, and we're not having the journal luncheon, and we're not having any, we've lost our rental of the banquet hall, and all that is very substantial. So we are looking for different ways to both engage you and at the same time have more community things and entertain you also. Besides the spiritual things and the classes that we also are providing. Since we're not in our building and you're not coming to services in the sanctuary, we have not been collecting tzedakah. And I invite you after services, if you appreciate what we've been doing to keep us all together, to make a donation, go to our website and go to your support and make a donation for tzedakah. It would be greatly appreciated. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Eric. And sorry for taking you by surprise like that, which Eric and I didn't talk about that in advance. So way to go, Eric.
No, I was sort of prepared.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I was just looking down for a second.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I will just add a little bit more detail about tomorrow. There's a whole religious school thing going on with the whole religious school families. I will be meeting with anyone who is not involved with that, which I think all of you are people who are not involved with that, at 9:45. And we're just going to do like a little lesson, a little text study to do with Israel in honor of Yom HaAtzmaut, Israeli Independence Day, which was this week. And then after that, we will have our Shabbat service at 11, which will just have a few extra features of Israeli Yom HaAtzmaut type stuff. So you got the link, I hope. Well, if you're here now, you must have gotten the link in your email. So the link for tomorrow is in your email, in the same email where you got the link for today. So please join everybody tomorrow for that. And by the way, oh, never mind. Okay, let's sing a song. We're gonna sing our same song that we've been singing, partly because I already have it here, and partly because I love it and I find it very moving for this time. Prayer for God's Love, words by Rabbi Rami Shapiro, music by Shir Yaakov Feit. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we're too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face towards you and give you peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.